Joe here from ActionX. Welcome to What's on the Tube, or welcome back. If this is your 12th DC Stargirl episode review, we're nearing the end here, people, so look alive. Man, next week, the finale, oh my god, I want to talk about the finale already. The promo for it looks, I want to see it already. That's how dedicated I am to the show, that I am just so excited for the finale. But not to say that this episode wasn't, great. It definitely did prove as a very nice setup for the climactic conclusion of the first season of Stargirl. Speaking of this episode, similar to how last week was kind of like the more somber prelude to the finale, this definitely does. I mean, I know it's a two-parter, like a Stars and Stripes, it's a two-parter finale. I get that, but this was more tamer, more. Hey, we're gonna get there. We're just setting up like the last few things to get everything ready for the real finale. And oh man, this episode was really damn good. Not as good as last week's, but it's still very good as a setup for what the finale will be. But anyway, enough about that. Let's talk about the actual episode itself through the Butcher recap. So we begin with so it's Brainwave going through the plan for New America with Icicle, who I can tell by his facial expression, like he's still a little bit unsure of certain elements. He's not entirely 100%, in my opinion. I don't think he's 100% down with the idea, but regardless, it's happening. Brainwave is positioning every piece. Dr. Dragon King is getting the machine ready. Brainwave's obviously going to be the amplifier. Sportsmaster and Tigers are going to go both take out Stargirl, Courtney, and her entire family to pose no real credible threat to the ISA anymore, which they clearly forgot about the other guys. So, okay, let's take out the leader and the benefactor. I mean, by that point, the rest of the team will fall apart, which I watched enough superhero shows and movies to realize, yeah, that's a fair strategy. So they're getting ready on that front. So meanwhile, the family is kind of like doing their own thing. Like Courtney and her mom are packing up the stuff at home, making sure they got everything for the upcoming retreat. Pat is with his son back at the shop, presumably just to get some last few things from there before they head their way. Where was it? Yeah, so Courtney and her mom are basically still like easing into the fact that Courtney's mom does know she's a superhero adjacent. I mean, let's be honest, Courtney is a superhero, but she's still a superhero in training, so I don't really want to call her a superhero, but you know what I mean. Pat's son is still very much confused about, hey, why are we doing this? Like, this makes no freaking sense, which, honestly, the guy has a point. So Pat decides, you know what, it's time. I'm going to tell my son the truth, the whole damn truth, because if he doesn't know about it now, it's basically, there's no better time to tell about it before the end of the world, basically. But before Pat's able to do that, the kid disappears, and Sportsmaster, Crusher, shows up out of nowhere with a baseball bat, and very much intimidating Pat to, yeah, you're going to stand down, buddy. You got to stand down. Ugh, wait, I got to brush my teeth better. Enough about that. Meanwhile, back at the house, Tigers is attacking the Courtney and her mom. So they're attacking the house by the family by two sides. Obviously, Pat Sans' super suit isn't really a credible threat or a credible defense against the opposing Taskmaster. No, Sportsman. Again, I'm so excited for Black Widow that those two worlds combined. Forget it. So Pat's getting his ass whooped by Sportsmaster. Meanwhile, Courtney's mom is getting her ass kicked by Tigers, but before Tigers is able to kill her, Courtney shows up with the staff and defends her mother. And her mother, seeing her mother's reaction to, now again, I haven't watched that many, heroes with secret identities having their parental figures figure out who they really are. We never really get to see that much very now and then, but seeing Courtney's mom react to Courtney with her fighting with the staff and her fighting in general and holding her own against the supervillain, I can tell she's very impressed by her daughter, but her daughter also gets pinned down by Tigers. So everyone does the casual thing when they don't have power. They just hit the villain with something over their head, and they get knocked out for a little bit so that the real hero can, land one last blow on them. So Courtney defeats her via that. Pat, meanwhile, is not having the best luck in the world. He's really getting his ass kicked, especially He's trying to get near to the robot suit to take out Sportsmaster. Yeah, I'm getting that right. Getting that right. But it doesn't seem to be looking good for old Patty Boy here. But thankfully his son comes to the rescue, drills a damn hole into Sportsmaster. This kid got bigger cojones than I ever will. But before Sportsmaster's about to teach him a lesson, Pat knocks him out with a giant ass pipe. And obviously from then, I mean, Pat has to show him, oh yeah, this is my superhero suit. Technically, I am a superhero. So the two of them managed to leave the shop with the striped suit. And then, yeah, and the family heads out towards the meeting from there. We also get a scene with the ISA. Well, not the ISA. Well, Icicle and his parents, I believe. I don't know if it's his parents or his wife's parents. I'm not sure which one it is, but close enough in that spear. They're talking about how like the plan's almost at hand, and they're debating whether or not they should tell Icicle's son about the whole endeavor, getting him involved in the cause, but they haven't exactly figured that out just yet. We also get a scene with the principal, who's also an ISA member, talking with her son about another unrelated matter, focusing on a bully. The moral there is that apparently the familiar connection there between, obviously, Pat has said before that the violin villain is not a female, it's a male. So, but the connection is that he was the husband of the current violinist villain. I'm butchering that horribly, I apologize. So they were married, so she just took over his position once he presumably died or passed away. So that was the story. But Icicle recruits her to help out in the whole let's get rid of Stargirl and her family mission. What she does, she heads over to the house, meets up with Sportsmaster and Tigress to discuss like her taking over the lead, taking over the hunt, and basically trying to like follow along her plan, but she's insulting them at the same time, and these two being a couple to say, you know what, away with this person, just knock her out. Like, simple solution. Back at the meeting spot, the family meets up with the other JSA agents, well, members. I don't like calling agents. Agents of S.H.I.E.L.D.'s on my mind again. They meet up, all happy that, okay, we're all together again. Then they see another car pull up. I was like, oh no, did they follow us? Are we going to have to deal with another fight in front of this very expensive looking house? No, it turns out to be Jordan. No, Justin. Justin, sorry. The knight, the shining knight, as I like to call him. Bringing lots and lots of KFC, which I'm like, how much do you think that cross promotion costs? How much you think? I'm about like, I don't know, like, the weird thing is that fun side tidbit is that when this was years ago when Arrow was still on, which I know it doesn't seem that long ago since I think Arrow just ended earlier this year. No, the funny thing was that the producer mentioned that the reason why the characters don't drink soda on the show is because they don't have enough ratings to even afford a soda promotion deal, which I don't like. So I don't know, like the thing with ratings is that's so weird. Like, so if you hit a certain ratings point, more bigger companies will invest products into your show, and they will technically pay you to put their products in your show, which kind of helps up with the budgeting. So I guess Stargirl kind of had that big enough of a draw to like get KFC to get involved. I mean, so Stargirl, hashtag sponsored by KFC. Let's get that going. So the group's reunited. They're all back in the house. They're all getting acquainted in this like temporary environment. Beth is looking into brainwave and absorbing his son's energy, was mental energy, as I think that's the terminology, I believe. She also tries to talk to Yolanda about Henry Jr.'s death, but Yolanda said no, it's fine. I'm not really thinking about it. Then the goggles can tell that she's lying. Rick, yeah, I keep getting that confused. Rick is still trying to decode the journal. Initially, I thought the knight was going to be like, oh, I know this, like, the answer's right here, but then, like, no, he's, like, doing, like, I'm gonna go clean the bathroom. God damn it, Justin, you know how to take a scene, I think, yeah, Courtney's, surveying the house for any intruders. The little bro shows up. They talk about how, like, how maybe if circumstances were different, then he would be Star Boy instead of Stargirl. But I don't think it's gonna. I don't think that's how it works, kid. This is the show's name is Stargirl. If we get a Star Boy, then we're really drawing down the end of the bandwagon here. You know what I'm saying? You know what I'm saying? Yeah. So back at the ISA lair, Brainwave's getting ready to enter the machine. She has a brief talk with Cindy. And Cindy has, sadly, my only one critique with this is that Cindy has kind of progressed from she's this badass who's trying to defy her father and prove her worth to just basically whining every episode about like, hey, let me be out there, let me be out there, let me go fight these people. And everyone's like, no. It's just like the constant rejection. It's just, for me, just how much more longer can they keep? I know there's only like one episode left, but y'all know what I mean. But Dragon King comes, gets Brainwave. The two head over to a very impressive looking giant room, giant space with a bunch of satellite dishes. Inside, it's something that kind of literally came out of the X-Men movies. A cerebral-like design. You know, walkway in the middle, that circle in the middle, a chair. And, well, they're attaching Brainwave to it. Basically, the potential side effect is that the amount of energy they're about to put into Brainwave could be enough to basically kill the guy, or at least destroy a good amount of his brain cells. But they don't care. They're just going to go proceed, and it seems to be working. Back at the house, Barbara and Pat have like a nice little one-on-one about themselves, about like why Pat didn't say anything to Barbara when they met, or at least before they got married. Pat's reasoning is that every time he's told someone his life, his real life as a superhero or a sidekick, it just never ended well for anyone involved. So he just didn't want to get Barbara involved since he didn't want her to die as well. And of course, Pat asks the obvious question with everything that happened the last 2 weeks: are they okay? Are they gonna survive? Are they still gonna be together? And Barbara said, "I hope." It's not like 100% like we will get through this, but it's a definite like I want to get back, to whatever we were before. But it won't definitely be the same. Then Pat goes to have a talk with Rick, and Rick is kind of at what's in here since there's a countdown, and he has to figure out this journal. But he's literally used every single number he could think of that would even have a connection to Rex. And then Pat brings up the obvious connection, like, well, why not the car, the year of the car, and then Rick's like, that's it, 1966. And somehow that's the answer. And they get everything. It turns out the answer to everything, the answer to this entire journal is giving them coordinates for the location of the machine the ISA is using. So with that, they managed to actually form a plan. So to go into the ISA layer in different access points so they don't get swarmed, they don't get like boxed in. And Beth's gonna go try and hack to try and maybe at least stop the countdown from happening. The main business that Icicle owns, that business, that headquarters, they're trying to hack in from there. Yolanda, Rick, and Justin are on the offensive via the old Dragon King household, and Courtney and Pat are gonna go for another tunnel to get through there. So they all got this plan of attack, and the funny thing is that little Pat Dugan's son is asking his dad, what is my role in all this? What's my role in this battle plan? And his job is take care of the dog. That's all you can do. Ooh. Anywho, we cut to like the very early next morning where we see everyone kind of like swarming, and then I just gotta say the shot with Courtney and Stargirl and Stripe running towards the tunnel, very cool. I can obviously tell that this is obviously a CGI creation, but fairly cool. And just seeing everyone like kind of like they're doing their own thing, they're like getting in there trying to like take down the ISA once and for all. Fairly cool scene. But the moment where it was like, wait a minute, how can we still communicate underground? Second thing, something's wrong here. It turns out no, the gambler actually hacked. So Bev was trying to hack the hack, so now the hacker hacked the hacker to stop the hacking of his hack. If that makes any lick of sense. Even me saying it, I'm also stumped as well. So they can't stop the countdown via a hack, so they basically have to go in there and stop Brainwave themselves. However, it turns out Brainwave is long enough into his brainwashing procedure that also they clarify the countdown. The countdown is not to count down to when Brainwave will start his experiment. It's when Brainwave will finish his brainwashing. So if you really want to be stiffy, they only got 30 minutes before, not when the process is going to start, but when the process ends. And it's already deep enough to where Courtney's mom, Barbara, is immobilized, as well as Stripe Pat is frozen, not by icicle, but frozen, and then eventually turns his attention on Courtney and attacks her, and that's where we end part 1 of our 2-parter finale. Yeah, I feel like this episode was a really great setup for next week's finale. I can't wait to see how they're going to wrap up this first season. Yeah, it's still crazy how, like, for me, like, I went from, like, I knew I was going to like this show to, wow, I really like this show, and now it's like, I have a strong contention of this being in my top 20 shows. And yes, why I say very loosely top 20 is that, here's the thing, I watch a lot of show. That's the highest compliment I can give it right now. Maybe next week we'll have a definitive placement, but there's so many other shows to talk about. I felt that the fight scenes were pretty cool. Again, I know this is like, they can't use all the, but it was fairly good to finally see Pat and Crusher like do a hand-to-hand combat, and honestly, yeah, Pat had to lose. It's not that hard to see. Courtney fighting Tigress for the first time, I think, since she had her staff powers back. That was good to see, and seeing Barbara actually see her daughter in action actually was something a little bit new that I haven't seen yet in terms of any of these shows and movies I've watched in this genre. For me personally, I could be wrong. I would have. Again, I know we're building up to the finale, and I know we're getting more seeds of everything, and I know there's a season 2 on the way. I would have liked a little bit more with the JSA newbies. I say newbies very loosely. I would have liked to see a little. I know they're still contributing. I know Yolanda is still going for her group with Henry Jr. Beth's trying to help the most she can. Rick is still dealing with his family lineage. I know there's still things for them to explore. I just don't think we'll have time to explore it in the next episode, so this will have to be something I'll talk about in season 2 when we talk about predictions in a couple weeks. But yeah, I would have liked to see a little bit more of them, and Justin just now becoming the new comedic relief it's entertaining. It's really entertaining. And yeah, I mean, the way they build up the episode, like giving in rising moments and declining resting moments, is like that was a very nice way to like wave in the episode and just make that all smooth out better. So I can't wait to see how things will wrap up next week. And yeah, so for me, I give this episode 2 thumbs up. I really enjoyed it. And I think, yeah, that's going to do it for me. So if you want to know this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to know what we're doing overall on What's in the Tube, besides the Stargirl reviews, we do Doom Patrol Season 2 episode reviews each and every Saturday. After a brand new episode on Thursdays on HBO Max and DC Universe, both streaming services. We also do Perry Mason episode reviews each and every Monday after a brand new episode on Sunday nights on HBO. But if you only care about Stargirl, then you're in luck. We'll be back next week for the season finale review. Again, crazy how 13 weeks went by so fast. It just did. Like, I remember we were just... Well, for me personally, we were just ending... Well, for me, I was just ending The Flash Season 6, which was already really great. Just going into this, like, the quality just improved. I know those are 2 very different shows, but you know what I mean. You know what I'm talking about. In terms of, like, you know. So I got a look ahead. So next week will be our season finale review. The week after that will be our season 1 review, both beginning with spoiler freeze for people who haven't yet seen the show, and then also for spoilers that continues on what we've been talking about since the beginning. And then the week after that, which will also be our season, will be just the last episode on What's in the Tube in general for a while, will be our season 2 predictions and hopes video, and that will be it for our Stargirl content for 2020. And yeah, so that's what you have to look forward to. So again, this was What's in the Tube from ActionX. If you want to see more of What's in the Tube, specifically our DC Stargirl episode reviews, please subscribe to us on YouTube.com. Ring the bell for notification when the next episode review is live and ready to view. Like, favorite, share if you want to, but it does really help us out in the long run, as well as follow us on social media to be up to date on stuff I'll see you Stargazers next week for the end of season 1.